another episode of the Verde Valley Experience. I'm Jennifer Cohen, your host for today's show, and we have a great lineup of guests and events and activities for you today. From the Verde Valley Dog Agility Club, we've got Jan Tomlinson and Lene Hake. They will be here in the studio to talk about their upcoming fun match. You got to get and see that. Plus, we also have four-legged Megan in the studio with us today. And it's time for the 49th annual Jerome Historic Home and Building Tour. That's one of the most popular tours of the year, so you've got to go ahead and get your tickets for it. And Donna Chesler, Jerome Chamber of Commerce Marketing Director, has lots of details for us, and she's also here with Liz Gale. Preliminaries have started for Northern Arizona's premier singing event, and that is Northern Arizona's Got Talent. And we have Danny Neal in the studio, and he's going to be talking to us about that exciting competition. And Danny is from the Flagstaff Recreation Services, so he's got a long drive today into our studios. We appreciate him being here. We've got Sedona film instructors Jeremy Hawks and Brian Reinhardt. They'll be on the show with info about their upcoming film fest that the school is putting out. And then we'll go graveside with Ginger Mason from the Verde Valley Spirit Seekers. We'll be at the Old Pioneer Cemetery in Clarkdale, and Ginger will give us some advice on how to do some spirit seeking of our own in the Wild West here. And finally, at the end of the show, we'll have William Schwab and Dave Rentz of the Black Forest Society. They'll be playing for us live here in our newly expanded studio. I'm so excited. So they'll be with us at the end of the show. So get comfortable and let's get started, will we? I'm here with Verde Valley Dog Agility Club, Jan Tomlinson and Lene Higgs. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
Now, Jan, you're the president and the obedience trainer, that's correct?
Yes, I am.
That's great. Now, obedience training is so important. If you've got a dog that's disobedient, you understand. But a well-trained dog is a blessing. So tell me, how do you go about teaching your classes?
Well, I have different classes. I have beginning classes for the dogs who have had no obedience training, and then a lot of people decide to go on and do a intermediate class, which is the next level up. And then I have several people now who are doing the advanced class, and they are actually showing in shows,
wow,
local shows in Prescott, Flagstaff, and Phoenix area.
That's great. So you can go as far as you want with that.
Yes, you can.
Wow. Well, give me an example of an advanced obedience trick.
Advanced trick, well, they learn to retrieve the dumbbell on the flat. They retrieve the dumbbell over the jump. They learn to do broad jump, and then basic heeling, but all the work is off leash. Nice. So that's a real challenge for many people.
Certainly, yes. Your dog has to really be focused on you.
Yes, they do.
And not all the other stuff that's going on the rest of the place. Now, Lene, you are the agility director and trainer.
Yes.
And agility looks like so much fun. And thank you for bringing Megan, beautiful little Megan, in with us today.
She's my agility girl.
She's your agility dog. That's awesome. Tell me a little bit about dog agility.
Dog agility is a really fun, exciting sport. You work as a team with your dog, running basically a course of different obstacles, jumps, tunnels, contacts, which are over like an A-frame and a dog walk, teeter-totter, different things like that. And it's just running the course in the fastest time and the cleanest round. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, I bet that is a lot of fun. And you know the dogs love it too, because you can watch their little faces on the videos and they're smiling. Everybody's having a good time. And it's good fitness for the owners too.
Very much so, yes. Very much so.
Now you guys have an event coming up on Saturday, May 17th. It's called the Fun Match. Tell us about that.
Well, this is an obedience fun match. We have in the past had combined fun matches where they do both agility and obedience. This one happens to be just obedience. And basically we charge for it, just a nominal fee, and it's a good time for people to come and practice. You can talk to your dog, you can give them treats, and it's a good practice just for fun. And obedience is fun too. I know agility is fun, but obedience can also be fun. And then those people who are showing, it's a good time for them to practice and hone their skills for the show.
Well, that's great. And that starts at 8 a.m. on Saturday, May 17th, and you've got 2 rings.
Yes, I do. Correct? I have a couple of my students can judge for me, and I also judge, and we have the different classes, and both rings will be going at the same time, and we'll have one class in one ring and the other class in the other ring, and then we just switch off. Sometimes I have games, fun games for them to do that include the obedience skills, so that's always fun. And then we also do some rally courses, which rally is kind of in between obedience and agility. You go around a course and you read the sign and you do what the sign asks you to do. So a lot of people are doing rally these days also.
Wow, that's fascinating. And so you're a club, you have members?
Yes, we do.
How many members do you have?
Well, when I first came here 6 years ago, we had probably 30 members, and now today we have between 75 and 80 members in the club.
Wow. That's great. That's a nice large number. And the Verde Valley Dog Agility Club was formed in 2005, so you guys have been around for a while.
Yes, we have.
That's really amazing. So there's beginner, there's intermediate, and there's advanced agility and obedience, so there's something for everybody. And it's a lot of very important life skills that your dog needs to have to be safe for you and for your dog. So it's a wonderful thing for you to get out and do, get out in the fresh air. Some good exercise for you, some good bonding for you and your dog. I'm fortunate. I have a really fabulous dog who is really good at obedience for the most part. There's always a little tweaking necessary, there is. So if I was to come and join your club, would I be able to test to my level to see where I should be placed?
Absolutely. I usually, if people have had training before, I just evaluate the dog and then I'll put them in a level that I think they belong in.
Oh, so much fun. That is so much fun. And anybody with a healthy, well-behaved dog can join the club. So that's a very important thing, well-behaved dogs. Again, as we all know, if you've been to a dog park, we all know about well-behaved dogs and not well-behaved dogs. So that's just, it's such an important skill. Beyond being fun for you, teaching your dog obedience and bonding with it through agility is just something that everybody should do. So the fun match, they can check you out. Where are you guys located?
We're located on Frank Carroll Lane. Dr. Jockham's they have a big field that they have, the club has use of, and we have lights, so when it gets hot in the summer we can do our training at night.
Really? Wow. That's really great. You guys can really work it. Is it mostly weekends that you do your events on?
The fun matches, but we teach during the week.
Right.
So it's the fun matches we usually do on the weekends.
That's great. And you guys have group classes for all levels. If you want to get a hold of these lovely ladies and get your dog some obedience or some agility, you can give them a call. Let's see, where do I have your phone number? I didn't put that down here. Who should they call?
Probably the best thing to do is go onto our website. And where the instructors and the classes are all listed on our website.
That's right.
So there's a lot of information on the website.
That is true. It's a really lovely website, and that's www.verdevalleyagilityclub.com. It's really long, but it's really easy. verdevalleyagilityclub.com. So go there and check them out and see when the next class may be coming up, or look at some information, or maybe if you want to look at the great pictures. Great pictures. I had to ask my husband to come in. Look at this dog. It looks just like our dog. And my daughter loved the Chihuahua. The little picture, the little tiny little Chihuahua standing there. Oh, so cute. So any dog of any breed, of any age, really. Correct.
Correct.
That's really fantastic. Really appreciate you being with us today. Let's see. So the fun match, Saturday, May 17th. Check out www.verdevalleyagilityclub.com. Jan, Lene, thank you so much. Megan, thank you so much for joining us. You're such a good dog. You're such a good dog. And we'll be right back with more of the Verde Valley experience, so don't go away.
Listen now, can you hear the bluebirds? Oh, look up now, can you feel the sun?
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. I'm here now with Donna Chesler, who is Jerome Chamber of Commerce's Marketing Director, and also Liz Gale, who is the President of the Jerome Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining me today. And we're together to talk about the 59th Annual Jerome Historic Building and House Tour, which is coming up. 49th. Good grief, did I say 59th? Wow, see, I'm just pushing you ahead there.
Not bad, not bad.
Can't even read my own notes today. The 49th Annual Jerome Historic Tour, which is May 17th and 18th. So you want to go ahead and get your tickets for that. That's a really exciting event.
It's going to be really wonderful. We have seven homes on tour and a special rest stop at the church and the Haven United Methodist Church. And for refreshments.
Yes.
Yeah. And we have some homes that have never been seen before, so it's very exciting.
Wow. That is very exciting.
A lot of these homes are over 100 years old.
Sure.
And so it's kind of special in that way because it really shows Jerome from the heyday to how people are repurposing those houses and using them today.
Yeah.
So that's a fun thing.
They're very creative homes, too, to have been built on the side of a cliff there. 100 years ago during the mining times. I mean, the rooms are small and some of them tilt, and but they're so interesting, and it's such a great way to really get in and see how people lived at that point. And I love seeing the decorations. I'm an antiquer, so Jerome has always been my favorite stop.
Yeah, you'll get an eyeful of that.
Oh,
yeah, we have an original Victrola, right? And
nice.
And was that and the piano in the Rorden house. Is an old upright piano that was, I think it's a player piano too.
Oh, fun.
So it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Oh, that is fun. And you've got quite a few homes this year, including the ones that we haven't seen before. You've got the John Rorden House, which is on Company Hill, the 1916 Porter home, which is Mayor Nikki Check's home. That's so nice of her to open her home up this year. The Vickers House, the Doss home, the Seaver home, and the Rooming House, which is decorated in the turn-of-the-century style, which is so exciting.
Yes.
And as usual, that house is great because it shows you the way people added on to build for the need. So like in 1910, 2 other floors were put on because of the immense amount of miners that were there, and that's how they boarded them. So, yeah.
They had 12 rooms in this house, tiny. They were very small, big enough for a bed, and the miners slept in 3 different shifts. There were no doors that opened in.
Wow.
So they would come in, they would sleep. They didn't eat there, they didn't bathe there. I'm not really sure where they did that, but they would come in to sleep, and then they would leave, and the next person would come in and sleep. So it was
a sleep shift.
The term hot cot really came from that era, where people, where you would go in, you'd sleep, and the bed was still warm by the next guy.
Well, that's a benefit.
Yeah, there you go. On cold winter nights, for sure.
Yeah, I guess it depends. As you talk about bathing, who was in it before you? Could be a little interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think the miners cared much, though. They were a pretty rough and tumble group.
They were.
Sure.
Yeah.
So much history up there in Jerome. And this tour is so well run. I have to tell you, the way you have this laid out is so beautiful between the shuttles and the parking. Please tell us how all that comes together.
Well, we actually have 1,500 people we're expecting over 2 days. So Jerome is a small town. You might wonder, where am I going to park? And we have a huge parking lot. It's on the 300 level, and there will be signage to get you to that parking lot.
And that's really to be, because no one knows where the 300 level usually is. So it's behind the fire station. So if you go back out there.
You go straight. Oh, it is a huge parking lot back there.
Thank you, yes. And we're going to have we always have a school bus that the Clarkdale Jerome lends us every year. And that'll be the shuttle. So we'll get people back and forth so that, there's minimal walking, and it should be a really fun ride for everybody.
But speaking of minimal walking, now we have to put this out there. This is not a tour for those of you with strollers or, say, walkers or possibly even canes. There is no handicap accessibility in Jerome. I don't know if you haven't been there. It's a lot of walking and a lot of steps. That's an important thing to keep in mind.
It sure is. I mean, there's many places where, Jerome is historic and authentic, but that also means that it's missing a few curb and gutter aspects that you would see elsewhere. So, we ask everybody to wear their best walking shoes and wear, a sun hat and keep themselves cool, and so that they can really enjoy the tour.
Yeah, definitely. And I love that you put a refreshment stop in the middle at the Haven United Methodist Church. Midway through the tour, you can get refreshed.
That's right. And then at the end, back at Spook Hall, which is where this year we're starting also. We're going to be selling tickets instead of on the street. We're going to be selling them in Spook Hall. And at the end of the tour, you can come back and have lemonade and cookies also.
Oh.
And so that's also nice.
How nice.
And a place to get out of the sun and relax a little before you head home.
That's great. And it's a nice touch, too. Cookies and lemonade at the end of your tour.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very nice for folks while they wait for their shuttle or say what, to be able to relax inside and have a chair and yes, have refreshments before they go out and do their portion of the tour. How long would you say the tour takes from start to finish?
I would say that it is going to realistically take 3 hours.
Nice.
I believe that.
Nice.
It could take you longer if you. It's sort of self-guided.
Oh.
We take you there in the shuttle, but you don't have to leave with your group.
Oh,
If you want to go up to the Reardon House and it's got a gorgeous view, and there are places to sit. If you want to hang there for a while, you can wait for the next shuttle to come. If you want to spend extra time there.
All right.
So we don't rush you in and out of each house.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very nice because, yeah, especially to sit and take in the view. And the weather this time of year is perfect for that kind of tour.
We're hoping.
Yeah, we are hoping. The views from most of the houses are spectacular. So I know why people linger.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, Jerome on the side of the hill there, you kind of hold your breath. I know I hold my breath. Some of those homes I wouldn't go into myself. I have a thing about cliffs, but that's just me. Now, it's the longest running home tour in Arizona. That's great.
Yeah, we have just consistently, with the goodwill of our residents, you know, and this is being sponsored by the Jerome Chamber, have had a wonderful time with the home tours. So, you know, everybody comes up there, and you know, I get asked this all the time. Why do you live there, and how do you live there, and what do you do, and where do you go to school? Well, a lot of those questions can be answered on the home tour. So, you know, you can see how we live on little houses that cling to the hill.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Fascinating lifestyle.
Yes.
It is. Lots of interesting people, I find, live in Jerome. The most interesting people. You'd have to be to live there and to live that lifestyle. You have to be pretty relaxed.
Well, and it's sort of a pioneer on your own right, and a lot of artists. I mean, I would say almost everybody's, you know, the mayor / artist / vineyard grower, you know. So you have a lot of that.
You've got all that mixed together. That's great. And beautiful architecture and wonderful history and antiques and loads of information. And you're selling tickets online for the first time, which is great in this world these days. And if you want to buy tickets online, go to jeromehometour.eventbrite.com. And if you want some more information, you can go to jeromehometour.com, or you can give the Jerome Chamber of Commerce a call at 928-634-2900. Tickets are $20 for adults and $10 for children.
Yeah, and if you go to the jeromechamber.com, you'll see a link there that'll take you to the website as well.
Well, fabulous.
So,
Well, thank you so much, Liz. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate you guys being here.
Well, thanks for having us.
We will. The 49.
All right.
We'll be there. Now, don't go away because we'll be right back with lots more show.
Son, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. That ember can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where that ember will land. Only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how you can help protect your community from wildfires.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. I'm now here with Danny Neal, who is from Flagstaff Recreation Services, but that's not the only thing. The man does everything. But Danny's joining me in the studio today to talk about Northern Arizona's Got Talent.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. Now, you are running the premier singing competition in Northern Arizona.
We like to call it that, yes.
Yeah, well, it's not just you, it's what everybody calls it.
Yeah,
You're being humble.
It's gotten to be a nice event.
And this is your 8th year, right?
It's our 8th year.
That's amazing. And right now, the preliminaries are being held at the Coconino Center for the Arts up in Flagstaff. They started April 30th, and they're going to continue until May 7th. Registration is from 6 until 7, but at 7, the auditions begin. That's got to be, whoo, a process.
Oh, you know, actually, we've probably got it down to a science now where we're moving people in and out and getting ready for the competition. It's a lot of fun.
How many people would you say audition on average?
Well, you know, just this past Wednesday for our first one, we had 30.
30, that's great.
30 people coming in to audition.
That's great. And you've got a great age range. The youngest, well, actually, what is the youngest? Because the first division is 12 and under.
12 and under. So if you've got somebody, I mean, we've had them as young as 5, 6-year-olds that actually can really sing.
Wow. That's amazing. They have a long career ahead of them if you're 5 and you can sing. Get out of your way.
That's right.
You're going to go a long way. And then there is no cap. So there's 12 and under, 13 through 18, and then 19 and over.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Actually, we had a young lady this past Wednesday who was 68.
Nice.
And she did a very good job.
Nice.
So,
that's really great.
Yeah.
And so these are the preliminaries. And then there's the semifinals, which will be held at the Orpheum Theater, also in Flagstaff, Wednesday, May 21st. And the doors will open at 5:30, and then the competition starts at 6. And then, of course, the most awaited event will be, of course, the finals, which will also be held at the Orpheum. And that will be Wednesday, May 28th. Now, the doors will open at 5:30. Competition starts at 6. Now, there is a $5 entry fee for the finals, but I guarantee you it's worth 4 times that.
Yes, it is. It's got to be. It's become quite an event. It's one of the major happenings in Flagstaff, so we're very proud of it.
How many folks do you try to get for the finals?
You know, what we try to do is get 10 in each age category.
All right.
So
that's great.
It's a show.
So that'd be about 30 participants.
That's about 30 people, yes.
Yeah, and this is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, this is serious professional business. So you've had folks come through your competition that have gone on to wonderful things.
Yes, we have. You know, we've had a young lady, Kelsey Figueroa, who went on and did some Broadway things. We had Drew Reinowitz, who went on in the X Factor and was in the Final 5. She did really well. Simon Cowell was her mentor and actually named her Drew. So cut off the last name, and now she's just known as Drew.
Wow.
And then we have another young man, Trevor Forsman, who I've actually known since he was in 3rd grade or something, who is now in LA, and they're asking him to write 3 songs a day.
Yep.
And working with Bruno Mars people and just doing really well.
Wow. That's amazing. Yes, singing is no easy life.
No, not at all.
Besides the physical aspect, there's the writing and the creativity that's involved.
Yes.
Now, do you find most folks, when they do their competition, they do a cover song, so to speak, so they sing somebody else's, or do you get people doing their own original work?
We do get some doing their own original work, and it's amazing. It's amazing at the talent level and how it's increased over the 8 years.
Sure.
Like I said, it started out as a little novelty thing just for me to do something thinking out of the box, since I'm that sportsy kind of guy.
Yeah.
Till now, it's people are serious.
Oh, yeah.
They're bringing their A game.
Oh, yeah. That 5-year-old marches into that studio and she's bringing it.
Yes, yes.
This is no playtime.
Right. So
that's great.
I'm very proud of it.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you were a sportscaster, you told me.
Well, no, I wasn't a sportscaster, but, played sports. I coach. I run, I have my own AU organization, but that's just some things I do on the side that I like to do.
You're coaching basketball?
Yes, at Flagstaff High School. Do coach girls at Flag High.
Yeah,
so,
wow.
It's just,
you're keeping busy, and you're running the rec center up there.
I run the Flagstaff Recreation Center on 2403 North Isabel, but just throughout recreation as a whole, with the ice rink and the aquaplex and Joe Montoya Center and adult athletics, we're doing a lot of good things in recreation in the city. Yes, so we have a great staff of people. So.
I bet. That's really amazing. And I bet there's lots of folks out there who have been rehearsing all year and working on their A game so they can come in and do Northern Arizona's Got Talent.
Yes, we have some very knowledgeable judges, and so like I said, it's went from novelty to serious thing now.
Yeah, serious business. That's amazing. Are you a judge yourself?
No, I'm not. You know, I have my coworker, Crystal Warden, who, Crystal Warden Gant, I don't want to make her husband mad, who, you know, she sings around town. Sings in the church. We have Suzanne Brown, who has a band, and they're all over Northern Arizona playing. And Jamie Usapis, who was with the Flagstaff Symphony, and he does Broadway. And
wow.
So a wide range within the judges themselves of knowledge.
Yeah, folks that know their stuff, for sure, because they've been there.
They say some words, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
But okay.
as long as the contestants know.
Right, yeah, right, it's okay. Just go, yes, and nod your head.
Excuse me. Yes.
Well, that's fantastic. And this was your brainchild, is what I'm getting.
Yeah, you know, it was like I said, I was kind of challenged to do something other than sports, think out of the box. And you know, my dad was in the music, my brother's in the music, so it's not that I was that far out of the box, but I mean, I can't sing.
Right.
but I love music, and I've always loved music. And so, and I became an American Idol fan.
Nice.
So I said, hey, let's try this, and it's worked.
That's great. Well, obviously it's working because it is Northern Arizona's premier singing competition. So right now the preliminaries are going on. There's April 30th is when they started. May 7th is the last day. You're going to register and you're going to do your audition at 7. The semifinals will be at the Orpheum Theater Wednesday, May 21st. The finals will be at the Orpheum on Wednesday, May 28th. And you can check them out at flagstaff.az.gov. And you can give them a call if you want more information. Call Danny or Crystal over at the Flagstaff Recreation Center at 928-779-1468. Danny, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for all you do for the community and Northern Arizona as a whole now with the Northern Arizona's Got Talent. I really appreciate you, and I know there's lots of other folks that do.
Well, thank you very much.
Well,
I've just been very blessed.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And don't go away, because we'll be right back with lots more.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. My next guests are from the Sedona Film School at Yavapai College. I have with me Jeremy Hawks, the narrative instructor, and Brian Reinhardt, documentary instructor. Thank you guys so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
You guys do a lot over there at the film school. There's a lot of folks running around that have been through the school, so I know it's a good program. We have one of your students here, and I always see her running around doing lots of work, and she comes into my shop, and she's always interested in all the old cameras, and so it's wonderful that we have that opportunity here in the Verde Valley.
Yeah, it started 14 years ago, and I've been with the school since it started.
Really?
And Jeremy came just a year later as a student. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So we've been with the school for a long time, and it's been an amazing place to work over the past 14 years. We had a lot of interesting students through there, and you know, in different kinds of interests, everything from cinematography and editing. I mean, they're not just, we teach them everything, but it's nice when they figure out what they want in a very short amount of time. It's a 9-month program only.
Oh, wow. Yeah, get it in, get it done. That's great. And you're accredited part of Yavapai College that offers filmmaking courses in narrative and documentary programs, hands-on certificate program on the Sedona campus of the Yavapai College, and it's part of the Career and Technical Education Division.
Well, how about that? We didn't even know all that.
Fancy schmancy.
We just knew we were part of the college.
Well, we'll see.
Sort of.
Learn something new every day.
We're out in Sedona, so we're kind of an island out there.
There you go. And I like that you guys focus on letting the student experience every phase of filmmaking so that they can, you know, get along in the real world.
Yeah, that is one of our biggest challenges, is getting them to work together, you know.
Oh, well, yeah.
To collaborate. It's a collaborative art form, so there's no way around it. And so that's one of the biggest challenges, is getting them to work together and support each other, and makes their films better ultimately.
Yeah, I bet. And so you're the documentary instructor. So that's very interesting that you're different instructors for different things. Like you're the narrative instructor, Jeremy. I think that's fascinating. You guys have chosen a field, and so you actually teach the students based on that particular genre.
Right, right. And you know, obviously, most people want to go into narrative program. They love scripted. You know, and you can talk about narrative, but documentary. I love the reality part of it. And,
right.
And dealing with real people and their stories and finding the story in that. And so yeah, I get those kind of students, and Jeremy definitely gets all the narratives.
You get all the creative sci-fi, 20-foot tall woman lands, and the, you know.
Right, the fantasies we all want to live.
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
What's wrong with that? That sounds like a fun job.
It's a fantastic job, and it's one that I've enjoyed for 11 years. After I graduated from the film school in the second year, a few years later, I got hired on by these guys and grew up through it, training as an instructor, and then took over the narrative program and started doing the 9-month program on my own in the narrative side.
Wow, that's fantastic. So much creativity you guys must see rolling through there, especially with the scripts. You must see some pretty wild stuff.
Yes, yeah, you can imagine they come from all walks of life and all over the world. We've had students from Sweden, Egypt, Brazil, and then of course within the States, you know, people in Iowa, people in Texas, they all find our school and they venture for 9 months and to Sedona, Arizona.
Wow, oh, those poor kids. What an awful place to have to go to school. Now this year's graduates will be showcasing their thesis films on May 23rd to the 25th at the Mary D. Fisher Theater in Sedona, and we're calling that the Film Fest. Is that something you do every year?
Yeah, from the first year we wanted the public to be able to come in and see what the students have done, because the public has supported us so well. People who own restaurants would support them with either letting them use their restaurant as a location or feed the crew and cast. Hotels would put people up. I mean, we've had really good support in the Verde Valley, and so this was our way of letting them see what the students accomplished in 1 year.
That's wonderful. And that's a great venue for the students as well, to be able to showcase their work. Mom, Dad, look what I did.
That's right.
That's really great.
And we try to play it just like a real film festival. And so that way they get to experience what that's like, because that's probably where most of them are going to go next, is start showing their work at festival, what they call the festival market, you know, whether it's in the United States or around the world, but at least they get in front of an audience and get to see how they react to their work. They do Q&A afterwards so that they can get a feel for what worked, what didn't work, how they can improve on the next film. So we handle it just that way so that they get their first experience at the end of the school year.
And it's a great bonus for those of us in the Verde Valley. We get to see all the work that the kids have done, and it's a way for you guys to pay back, which is really great. It's
definitely a highlight for me in the years to see what they've done and the full mix, you know, the color correcting, the sound mix, how it all worked out for them.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. And to see it up on the big screen at the Mary D. Fisher, I mean, that's just an amazing experience for those kids, and it gets them out on the right foot. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great. And that's May 23rd through the 25th at the Mary D. Fisher Theater in Sedona. Let's see. If they wanted to get some information, is there a website they can look at?
Yeah, you just go to sedonafilmschool.com. Okay. We're releasing the schedule of the festival today.
All right.
So actually we'll have the opportunity to be able to present the times of each films, or I'm sorry, blocks of films for them to watch. And it'll be a fun-filled day from 10 a.m. all the way, ends at 9 p.m. at night, both Saturday and Sunday. And we also start off with a gala that you come as your favorite movie character. So you dress up. So for instance, put on a stormtrooper helmet and wear a tux.
Oh, I have to go. Now you mentioned costumes, I'm there.
And what would your character be? Do you have a favorite?
Do I have a favorite? No, I don't have a favorite. I have I have a closet full of them. They're way too much fun. But I have been dying to wear that Marilyn Monroe giant pink Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. I haven't worn that in a while.
Yeah, we don't have the vent with the air blowing, but
no, that's okay. My husband wouldn't appreciate that, so that's all right. Wow, so that's amazing. So it's a gala event with costumes and celebration and just honoring the students and all the work that they've done for their 9 months there over at the Sedona Film School, and give them some appreciation. And that's a really great thing that you guys put on.
And we're actually bringing back the alumni this year, and which we do every year. We show some films from alumni and show what they're doing now, you know, and we think that's really important
That's great.
to show the public that these students have continued on and are doing well in their film career.
Huh. That's awesome. Well, thank you guys for that. So the Sedona Center for the Arts and Technology is located at 4215 Arts Village Drive in Sedona. Too bad the view's not better. It's not very inspiring. How many students do you think you have in your program?
This year?
Yeah.
We're going to graduate, how many? 9?
9.
Nice.
9 this year, yeah.
That's great.
But we'll have anywhere from 20 to 40 when we start sometimes, so it just depends on the years, you know, how many students we get each year.
Wow.
And so that goes up and down.
That's great. All right, the Sedona Film School at Yavapai College. Go ahead and check them out online. They've got a great site, sedonafilmschool.com. Jeremy, thank you so much. Brian, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you taking time out to come here and sit with me. So we'll see everybody at the Film Fest, the Film School Short Film Festival, which will be May 23rd to the 25th at the Mary D. Fisher Theater in Sedona. And don't go away, because we've got a little bit more show for you.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does. And like that, you're a job creator.
And we're back to the Verde Valley Experience. Now, they say that the spirit of the West is alive and well, but today we're here to talk about the spirits of the West. I'm here at the old Clarkdale Cemetery with Ginger Mason. Ginger is from the Verde Valley Spirit Seekers. Hi, Ginger.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. It's a beautiful day out here today, albeit a little windy, but we're standing out here in this gorgeous cemetery. Can you tell me a little bit about the old Clarkdale Cemetery?
This old Clarkdale Cemetery is actually part of the old Jerome Cemetery system. And a lot of the miners and some of the folks that helped at the mines and also helped build Clarkdale, are the migrant workers are the ones that are mostly buried here. And there were a lot of different nationalities that you'll find spotted around the cemetery. It's actually a quite large cemetery.
Yeah, it seems like it. I see grave markers all over the place, and they range from really ornate cement crosses to handmade metal ones to simple stones, and it's very interesting to see the age range of the people here. Now, this has been called the Cowboy Cemetery and also the Old Pioneer Cemetery.
Yes, that's right.
But it's one of your favorite cemeteries as far as spirits are concerned.
Oh, absolutely. We frequent this cemetery several times a year because of the spirit activity that we receive. And we've recorded things. We've actually had a lot of personal experiences here. It's a very good feeling cemetery. There are a lot of times where we will actually just come out and relax as well and just visit the folks that are still here.
Yeah, sure. It's in a lovely spot. There's a beautiful view everywhere. Now, when you come out, what kind of equipment do you bring with you?
Gosh, first and foremost, you have to bring cameras to snapshot.
Like digital cameras or?
Yeah, digital cameras. You can use old school if you like, because a lot of folks will use 35 millimeter things like. But digital cameras are the easiest to use for those that aren't familiar with the type of equipment. You don't need anything fancy. Just a regular digital camera. Another thing that I love to bring, and I always have them with me, are divining rods or dowsing rods.
Very cool.
And those help me get direction on finding certain types of graves, maybe, or finding out a little bit more about the people that are in the graves.
Sure, and dowsing rods is a really interesting piece of equipment. They can be made out of a household hanger, or you can have one that's fancy and made out of copper wire or brass wire, the ones you have.
Yes, these are just very basic. I actually made these a couple weeks ago. I purchased some brass wire at the local hardware store and just bend it properly, and you have to make sure that they're straight and balanced, and you don't have to, again, these are about as simple as you can get.
Sure, it's just two pieces of wire that have been bent. And how exactly do you go about using those?
Actually, what I like to do is you use the energy from your body to help you direct you, what you're looking for, whether it's water, bodies, spirits, anything, a piece of jewelry that's lost in your home, things like that you're looking for. But you use the energy from your body, and you can direct and get questions and answers. There's certain directions, and everybody has their own way of how to use them, but you can actually face them forward. You have close to your body so that they can get the energies from it, and you can ask a specific question, like I'll ask, where's the grave of Edward? And it'll either give a direction left for me, direction right. A crossing would mean yes. No would be if they just didn't have any action at all. And a lot of times I can get these to work very well. Other times on a windy day it's not necessarily going to work very well.
True.
And other times they won't work at all. It just depends on whether the spirits might want to communicate or not.
Right, right. And besides the dowsing rods and the cameras, you also use audio equipment.
Oh yes, audio is probably the next best thing to have. Digital audio recorders, there are all kinds of them out in the market. They range from anywhere from $20 up to $200, but you don't have to spend much. A simple audio recorder, I like to have several with me if I'm on a larger location, or I always have at least one. Now they do tend to be sensitive and pick up a lot of noise, so on windy occasions you just have to weed that out, but you can still get things on a windy occasion. I like to use the simplest digital recorder is an Olympus that you can plug into your computer and download certain applications that can allow you to pick out certain noises and things that you hear when you listen later on. And you don't necessarily hear things while you're out here, but when you go to review your equipment later, that's when you catch some really interesting things.
Right. How interesting. You can find out where Grandpa hid his coin collection.
Yes.
All you need is a simple little recorder from the electronics store, some little brass wire, and so really under, say, $40, you've got the basic equipment that one would need to do a little spirit seeking of their own.
Yes, you can go as simple as that, and you can go the rest of your life with as simple as that. But for those that are actually, getting groups together and want to explore a little bit more, want a little bit more evidence for themselves, let alone other people, can purchase more equipment. You can, spend lots of money if you want to. I know the TV shows, they have the best equipment in the world, and we'll never be able to accomplish that. But and it's always fun if you have certain people in your group. Like one will be our techie that knows how to work all the equipment.
Cool.
I'm not very good at that. And then you have the other that's better at photography, and the other that's better at you know, documenting and writing things down and paying attention to the little details that you're not quite necessarily paying attention to.
That's great. Yeah, it's definitely more fun with friends. Like anything else, it's more fun with friends. It would make me feel better if I went out with a friend.
Get you outdoors. You can go out on trails. You don't have to be at a cemetery, although this is one of my favorite places. And you do get activity at cemeteries, not because the people or the spirits are still here trapped and hanging around. They actually, there's a lot of folks out here that were buried 100 years ago, and you know, their families have moved away. They don't have anyone visiting their location where they were laid to rest and at peace. So I would imagine that they love to have visitors, because if we didn't have the evidence of voices and things like that answer questions sometimes, or you know, they realize that you're here, and I think that they just come to visit while you're here because they appreciate that you acknowledge that
everybody loves company.
Yeah,
absolutely. Even the spirits love company.
Oh, sure.
So if you'd like to connect with yourself and with others out in the beautiful wilds of the Verde Valley, there's lots of different cemeteries and neat natural places you can check out with your equipment. And you can check out the Verde Valley Spirit Seekers on Facebook. You guys have an awesome Facebook page.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we like to try and keep it interesting. We add a couple articles, and a lot of folks will come in and bring their own articles, stories, personal experiences. If you want to talk about equipment, just chit chat, jokes, things like that. It's very clean. Your children can look at it.
Oh, very good.
And you know, we try and keep it as basic as possible. But you're welcome to join in. You can view it without joining as well. You don't have to join them. So
great. Ginger Mason of the Verde Valley Spirit Seekers, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll be right back.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
Good one, son.
Last summer, my new dad took me on vacation. First, we went deep sea fishing. Wow!
I'm so proud of you, son.
And then we went on Thunder Shark. That was awesome! Let's go again. 3 times. I gotta say, it was pretty cool.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Oh, not again.
Hey.
Ready to go?
Yeah, but the fire's not out.
It's close enough.
Close enough? If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. I mean, the next thing you know, you've torched our whole neighborhood.
Which is why we're not going anywhere?
Exactly. 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
To me, these lonely eyes fill me up. This joy is no surprise. This paradise seems like a dream. It makes me glow. It makes me sing. Just breathe, 'cause what you want is real. Just breathe. See the colors dance before your eyes. Just breathe. I can see you in the clouds and in the sky at night. Just breathe. It's what you want. Speak to me, these lonely eyes fill me up. This joy is no surprise. Just breathe, 'cause what you want is real. Just breathe. See the colors dance before your eyes. Just breathe. I can see you in the clouds and in the sky at night. Just breathe. It's what you want.
Fellas, that was awesome. I'm here with the Black Forest Society. We have William Schwab on guitars and vocals and Dave Rentz on percussion and semi-percussion. What would you call the Shakers?
Percussion.
They're percussion as well? Well, that's fascinating. That's amazing, the fullness of sound that you guys get with just the two of you, two voices, kind of sort of two instruments, 2 3/4. But it's such a wonderful, rounded sound.
Thank you.
You guys have been playing together for a little while?
3.5 years.
3.5 years.
Yeah.
That's an amazing feat for really a short time. I mean, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
But you guys play a lot. You play all over town.
Do a lot in the wineries, do a lot of some of the local bars, different venues, festivals, wherever they'll have us with open arms.
Sure, sure. The Cottonwood Farmers Market.
Yes.
I know I've heard your music drifting from out of there. I work downtown, so I know. And you play all the wine rooms. That's nice, wine and music. My two favorite things.
It's a good mix.
It
it's
is.
A good mix.
And you're different as far as other musicians go, where they play a few songs in a set, they take a break. You're improvisational.
It's part of the main drawing that I had to Dave is that I can close my eyes and he can close his eyes and we can go wherever the song's leading us in the moment. Mm-hmm. Because different atmospheres call for different stories to be told from sometimes the same song. So.
Sure. Sure. And everything is all original?
All original. I write it all. I call it, they're the little knocks on the back of my head. I just get pulled and I kind of let it go. And I'll play it a couple times at home and then I'll bring it out and then it kind of gets shaped by the audience and the way that they hear it from there. And it's great because I'm an overthinker and I don't have to think very much when I write.
Really?
So that's one of the greatest pleasures to writing it.
A true talent comes easily. Yeah. So there you go. And you're doing something new now. You're doing art and music.
Yes, we do live paintings. I use a gentleman by the name of Jason Dudley. He always paints live with us, but we'll have shows. Like we had a show a couple weeks ago up at the Spirit Room. We had 3 live painters. We have a cello player. Her name is Rachel Marie Kimber. She'll come in and play with us several times. You can hear her on our album. And it gives an audience something to truly allow them to immerse themselves in a unique moment.
Sure. Sure. It's not going to see a band. It's an experience.
Exactly.
A musical and artistic experience that is live and ever-changing and something new every time.
Exactly.
Well, that's a wonderful feat for you guys. Most musicians are very like, this is the way the song goes. We do the same thing in the same order. So you guys have courage to get up there and just be free about it. That definitely takes a lot of courage and a lot of talent to be able to back that up.
And the rewards of the magic that occurs when
yeah.
You're fearless.
Right, which is great, and a special experience for the audience as well to be there during a one-of-a-kind creation.
Mistakes are wonderful things because with Dave, if the mistake happens, we laugh, and then sometimes we'll go, "Do you want to do it again?" "Yeah, let's do it again," because then sometimes that mistake turns into the best part of the song.
There are no mistakes, just other options.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Now, how long have you been playing percussion?
Well, I'm a drum set player. I've been playing since I'm 15, I was 15, and I'm 62 now. But the past 3-4 years, I've been playing predominantly hand drums. It's a lot easier to set up, but I do miss hitting cymbals and working my feet.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I just love the simplicity of bringing a small amount of stuff and getting a lot of sound out of this drum.
You do manage to get a lot of different sounds out of that, which is very impressive. I like that a lot, Dave. And William, how long have you been playing guitar?
Since I'm 39 now, since I was 17, but I did take a 10-year break.
Yeah.
To where I was dabbling, and actually the first 2 years that I was out in this area, I didn't play at all.
Sure.
And it was very interesting that when I got back into it, it happened very quickly. It was 2 months of, boom, here I'm in a house with a guitar, boom, I write something on it, and then the next thing I know, I'm at having an open mic, and then after the open mic, got invited to do a show, and I'm doing a show, and I ended up doing it with Dave, and then that's 3.5 years ago.
Wow.
I'm his biggest cheerleader. Bill, you gotta play. Don't do anything but
anything but play. Yes, and it is beautiful. Both of you guys play beautifully, and you have wonderful voices. You play so well together, and you can check them out on Facebook, Black Forest Society on Facebook. You guys have a great Facebook page where you keep us updated. And you guys play the Red Rooster on Main Street in Cottonwood every Saturday morning, is it?
Every Saturday morning from 11 to 1. You can find us there, out in the patio, weather permitting.
Nice.
Great food, great waitresses.
Yeah. Everybody's really nice there at the Red Rooster. That's awesome. And then you'll be playing around and about town. We can check you out on Facebook. That'll let us know what you guys are up to. And you guys give them a call, too, if you want to, 928-899-4637. Well, Dave, William, thank you so much for joining me today on the show. And you're going to play us another song.
Yeah, this is this one is more of an improv. It's one of the open things. It's called The Journey of Jack Green. And it's just basically about, if in your head you think of someone who's had it with his office, he's had it with his job, and he runs off into the woods and starts swinging from the trees. Because nature's a beautiful thing.
Don't we all want to swing from the trees?
Absolutely.
And thank you all for watching the Verde Valley Experience. We'll see you next time on the show.